I Sverige finns inga framtagna riktlinjer eller råd från Socialstyrelsen eller några lagar där föräldraalienation nämns. Men det gör det från och med i år i Danmark. Där har man i den så kallade föräldraansvarslagen skrivit in begreppet och uttryckligen förbjudit föräldrar att alienera barn i samband med vårdnadstvister. En som ser det här som en stor seger, det är Jesper Lohse. Han är talesperson för föreningen FAR i Danmark som sedan 70-talet arbetar för pappors rättigheter i samband med familjeliv och skilsmässor. Och enligt Jesper Lohse utgör alienation och försök att manipulera barn i skilsmässor och separationer en stor del av föreningens vardag.
It's one of the big issues and groups, definitely. In Denmark, we know that 14% of children in a divorce, during a divorce, are losing fully contact with a parent. And besides that, a lot of children, of course, lose partial contact with a parent, and that's in 9 out of 10 families, that's the father, they lose contact. So lost contact is a very big issue, I think, in every country. And a large group of those is related to parental alienation, but it can also be, of course, other issues, parents that don't take responsibility, violence and things like that. But parental alienation is a very big group.
And how typically can you assist a parent or a father when it comes to this?
We can identify, a lot of parents don't know that it's parental alienation, the experience. And of course, the challenge is always to make sure, is this parental alienation or is it something else? That's very important for the children and for the family to identify that. But there are research-based tools today where it's possible to go in and identify parental alienation. So we talk to the parents. We have national counseling centers, so parents, fathers can come in every week and talk about their family issues. And we are able to support them, and our counselors are educated in both shared parenting, but also know about parental alienation and how to identify that.
And if you give me an example on what these tools are about to really know that this is parental alienation or this is maybe something completely different, what kind of tools are we talking about?
Today, there's been a lot of research in this, and there's the most famous tool is the 5-factor model, where you look at 5 different factors related to a child and a family. And one of the issues you look at is, does a child suddenly don't want to be together with the parents that before, for instance, the divorce, the child actually and the parent had a good relationship. So that's one of the basic things to look at. If the parent has never been there and the child and parent has not earlier had a good relationship, we would not establish that as parental alienation. But that's just one of the factors. And then you have 17 different behaviors that you look at in a parent that are alienating a child. So, and that's research-based. It's a lot of cases that have been identified and saying these are the common patterns of behavior from an alienating parent.
There is a new regulation or a new law in Denmark around this that really sets the record straight, so to say, that parental alienation is real. How much has that meant for your organization?
It has meant tremendous for the children and for the family and the family court system, that suddenly you are able to talk about this very large group of children that experience this, and also prevent a lot of cases in lost contact. So parental alienation in Denmark by January 1st, 2025 is established as something you have to look into in every family court decision, and it is regarded as psychological violence towards children. So that's extremely important that you are able to talk about that, to identify, to educate people, caseworkers, social workers, legal personnel, court system, that you have these 17 different patterns, you have 8 manifestation in children, and if you experience that, it could be parental alienation related, and that is violence against the child. And of course, you have to make decisions based on that and support the child in that.
And for a parent, if this law is applied and a court says you're alienating your child, what kind of consequences can come out of that?
The possibility is that there's no consequences. Definitely, you will look at what is in the best interest of the child. So you will have to establish if there's parental alienation happening, and that can be minor, medium, complex situations. But the general rule is that there has to be a sanction on it. There has to be something that needs to be taken into account. But it always has to be in the best interest of the child. So it could be sanctions like the most severe sanction is that you turn the residential and legal custody around. So you simply provide that to the other parents. We have seen Supreme Court's decisions on that. But the most common will be that you talk to the parents, you demand that they are going into a collaboration course, things like that. And unless they do that, there will be more hard sanctions.
Like what?
The harder sanctions will be the courts, and that could be fines. If you don't apply by a legal decision, you will get a fine, and you will get that every day until you comply with a legal decision. So that's what some parents will experience. And as I mentioned, it can be change of custody, it can be change of residential status also in the most important and severe cases, most clear cases. But in some cases, and that's the critic, is that it's very difficult, of course, if you already have lost contact with the child due to parental alienation, then you cannot, maybe the court decisions is not the best way forward, but definitely the judges have a new tool here to be able to make decision to make sure that parents apply by positive collaboration in the best interest of the child. So fine, jail sentences, change of custody, there's a lot of opportunities there.
But even jail is in the scale here. I mean, it could be applied.
It's the last thing you want to do. So it will be a very few parents or families where we will see that. But if you do not apply by the fines, we have seen parents go to jail.
All right. So that's already happening in Denmark.
That has happened, yes, and it's not something we see. It's very extreme and very rarely. You will see more fines, and you will see change of residence and legal custody to the other parents, and that's what we have seen Supreme Court verdicts on.
There is a lot of harsh criticism regarding parental alienation, and the critics mostly refer to the risk that abusive husbands or even pedophiles can use this term to get away with crimes. How do you look upon this criticism?
There's two different aspects of that, I think. The first aspect that needs to be considered is the women lobby aspect, where you know that if there's any legislation, any talk about children and fathers, You do know that the women lobby in the Nordic countries on an international level will try to create fear, will try to confuse politicians so that they don't support any legislation, any financial support, things like that, related to fathers. So you have a very extreme women lobby that will put these things out just to create fear. So that's one of the aspects. The other aspect is, could that be the situation? Yes, in any family situation, you could, if you talk about family violence, you could be in a crisis centers, things like that. It could very well be that the mother was the violent part and not the victim. And also in these parental alienation cases, you of course need to consider, is this a father or mother that are for other reasons stating parental alienation where it's not the case. And that's where these tools are very important, the experience, the education on how to identify parental alienation, when is it alienation and when it is not, is also very important. No one wants to have a wrong case, of course.
Do you think there is a way to find common ground for the people like yourself and your organization using the term parental alienation and the other side, so to say? Do you see any reason why you could come together and work together in the future around this?
Absolutely, because it's also protection of women. What we need to work towards is that gender is not the issue. We need to have quality in assessing what is in the best interest of a child. And that can be a mother that is the issue. It can be a father. And we definitely have to establish common grounds on that. So there's a lot of mothers also experiencing parental alienation. There's a lot of mothers, if the mother is victim of violence, which definitely happens, it is very important that we support the right victims and we respect the right victims. And that's why it's very important to be able to talk about the different groups of violence, and also parental alienation as one of them. So I do believe that right now everyone is trying to fight it like always, but it's something that is a reality in society, in every society. It's a large group of violence victims, and we need to talk about that. And I'd also think that that's something we can definitely have common grounds on.
Okay, Jesper, Lohse, thank you very much for